guys, welcome back to the Red Circle Podcast with your hosts, Vanessa and Ed.
Hey guys,
Hi.
Welcome back. We're so excited. I'm very excited. Well, okay, so a couple things. Today, let's just do the gold, silver, and
Yes.
Bitcoin. We'll start with that.
Let's do it.
So gold is up again, is $2,036, and silver is $25.81, pretty much the same. Let me look at Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is down to 27.9, which is great because I want to buy some.
Yeah.
Buy some Bitcoins. But the topic today is about a guy. He is kind of like an Indiana Jones character.
Like a real life Indiana Jones?
Real live Indiana Jones.
Okay.
And his name is Ron White.
Oh, okay.
He's very controversial.
Oh.
Okay, so Ron White is an amateur archaeologist.
Okay.
And he's made several controversial biblical archaeological finds. Several.
So he focuses on biblical archaeological finds.
So one of his most famous is supposedly the Ark of the Noah's Ark on the top of Mount Herod. And it's a boat-shaped structure that's kind of been like, you know, what happens to wood? It becomes like wood.
It becomes like stone.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Yeah, I forget.
It's not like fossilized. That's a different word.
Yeah,
I forget.
There's another word.
You guys
for
know
it.
what we're saying.
You know the thing.
Do the
thing.
Type it in the comments, and we'll be like, yeah, that's what it is.
And so he found it on Mount Ararat in Turkey. And so it's a boat structure. They did the measurements. It's almost perfect.
That's so crazy.
You know, and it's a huge thing. It looks like a boat.
Yeah.
It's shaped like the boat. It's very possibly is it.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing that he found was, let me see. He discovered the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you seen that?
No.
It's very fascinating. So he found this like valley.
Yeah.
And this valley, there's all this like, I forget what they call, like sodium like type. It's all white.
Yes.
And it's like in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. Just
and it's just this
soil.
random valley. And you'll find like these pillars, and you break it apart, and inside of it, it's all white too. So it's white on the outside and white on the inside. It's just pure like sulfur.
Yeah. Oh my.
It's pretty crazy. I've seen that video.
That's hardcore.
Yeah.
I need to look that up.
And then he also supposedly found the destruction in the Dead Sea Scrolls. He found sulfur balls. That's what it was, like sulfur balls. And then, but it's not widely acceptable. None of his stuff is widely acceptable. And then he found supposedly the place where the Israelites crossed the Red Sea.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's like a little elevated area. in the Dead Sea.
I've heard about that.
The Red Sea.
It
Sorry,
makes
not the
sense.
Dead Sea. Yeah, and the most interesting one is he found supposedly the Ark of the Covenant underneath the Temple Mount. And he was like, this was a long time ago. And he like crawled through these different caverns.
Oh my god.
Which there's a lot of catacombs in there.
Yeah.
And found the Ark of the Covenant. And supposedly where Jesus was crucified, his blood traveled all the way down through the mountain and dripped onto the mercy seat.
What?
In the Ark of the Covenant. You haven't heard of this?
No.
It's crazy, yeah. And then he took samples of this blood.
Yes.
And then they did all this research. And this blood is kind of like this unique blood. It only has one type of chromosome.
Yeah. From the mom.
From the mom.
Yeah. And humans have two.
Yeah.
One set from the
X
mom
and Y.
And
Yeah.
from the dad.
So it's like this anomaly.
That's
right?
hardcore.
and that it was still like alive. It was crazy. Yeah. So just crazy type of stuff. Most of it is very like if a guy just did one of these things, right? He literally is Indiana Jones. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This guy's totally Indiana
How
Jones.
is he even considered amateur? It sounds like this is what he does.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what ChatGPT calls him.
It's hardcore.
ChatGPT doesn't like any of the stuff that I search.
I know. It feels like there's always like a little caveat at the bottom,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, this
It
is
isn't like it'll tell you. It is important to note that the field of archaeology extraordinarily claims require extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. While there is many legitimate and scientific support for archaeological discoveries that shed light on ancient civilizations and historical events, the claim made by Ron White have not gained acceptance or recognition among the wide academic and archaeological communities.
It's so weird.
Like everyone I search, is like, and it's like, I apologize, but what you're searching is pretty dumb. Like that's pretty much
I'll find it for you, but I don't like it.
Yeah, ChatGPT is like, I reluctantly accept your request.
It's so interesting. I used to very much value what mainstream whatever found as true.
The authority?
Yeah, like in archaeology or in the media or whatever topic you're on. But now when something's fringe, I almost take it more into consideration than the actual ideas.
Definitely the loss of the trust of the mainstream media is a thing. We have lost trust in the mainstream media.
Yeah, because they're for sale. Whoever pays more, whatever they want them to say, that's what they're going to say. They don't care about us.
I saw a whole interview about Fox News.
They're part of the problem.
And the guy that owns Fox News, Robert Murdoch or whatever the guy's name is, he was talking to one of his executives, and the executive was recounting the conversation that they had, and he wanted to go against vaccinations. It was an interview by Robert Kennedy Jr., and he was talking about his buddy who was an executive at Fox News.
Yeah.
And his buddy has a child that he believes was vaccine injured from beforehand. And he says that he's like, hey, I want you to run this study that I found, and I'm going to write this op-ed or whatever. And he's like, I would love to do this. I think we'll do it. And he's like, let me just get the approval from the guy upstairs. So they go to Murdoch, and Murdoch shoots it down. He's like, if you run this, he's like, we will lose 70-80% of our advertisements on our channel, because 70-80% of it is the medical industrial complex, right? It's all the vaccine companies. Yeah. 70-80%. That's how much control they have over it. Yeah. So if I'm like a big corporation like that, and I have, a fiduciary to my stockholders, and I could possibly lose 70-80% of my income. Yeah. I can't do that. No. And it's sad because it's a publicly traded company. And I think that's where the rub is. It's like you think you have control, but you don't. Yeah. Because now you're under these legal things where you have to do what's best in the interest of the stock shareholders. And if you don't, everybody's going to sue you to oblivion. Oh, yeah. And who owns Fox? Like when you go all the way back to who actually owns it, they're the ones in charge. It's BlackRock and these guys who are the stock shareholders. So they don't even have to run the company. They just have to wield it. Exactly. You know what I mean? More of it. Yeah. It's kind of like a secret power structure that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all subtle.
Well, and then when you talk about it, people are like you're the conspiracy theorist, you know?
Tinfoil hat.
Yeah, exactly.
We should get tinfoil hats.
We should. I can make a cute one.
Maybe we could do it for the photo shoot.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, we could do
We're
it.
gonna use tinfoil. We're gonna use all your tinfoil, and Zephyr's gonna be like, "What did you guys do?"
Be awesome.
Duh.
I want like antenna tinfoil.
Oh no! All right, guys. Next episode, we're gonna be wearing our tinfoil hats.
That's funny. So I think that you know, some of these archaeological finds are so fantastical. I am skeptical as well.
Yeah.
The one that I'm the most convinced about is Noah's Ark.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you look at it and you're like, and I've seen people do measurements with Google Maps. You know, you can do measurements.
Yeah, because you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I was listening to an episode of Joe Rogan, and he brings a lot of fringe archaeologists on, and the things that they think versus the things that are mainstream, but they make so much sense when you listen to the evidence. It's like night and day to what we're taught in schools and what is. So like I'm not going to say it perfectly, but the pyramids are like way older than we think, like significantly older than we think.
Well, the thing is that they think they keep going further and further back. You know what I mean? Because they can't. How are you going to do a carbon dating of dirt?
Of stone.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't carbon date that.
You can't carbon date dirt and stone. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
You know, it's a rock.
You need alive matter to be able to carbon date it.
Yeah,
exactly.
you need something that has some type of breaking down of whatever. And a stone doesn't have that.
No. And
they're like perfectly carved stones.
Yeah.
So this is what I think.
Okay.
Hot take.
Tell us.
Cut it here, Sean. No, I'm just kidding. So what I think is everything is pre-Noamic. All of these structures are pre-Noamic. And that civilization that was killed off was advanced. Advanced in a different way.
The Nephilim and all of that.
All the angels that came down and mated with women and were their gods, and the people worshiped them and they sacrificed their children to them. All that jazz was all alien technology, which is fallen angel technology. That's what it is. You know, and those fallen angels taught the people how to manipulate metals, how to manipulate stuff. It's very much in the Book of Jubilees and in the Book of Enoch and stuff like that.
Yeah, all that.
It goes into that.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I feel.
Yeah.
And they're not, you know, I subscribe to the 6,000-year-old, you know, human history. I'm not 8 billion. They keep getting older and older and older and older. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, it's 8 trillion years old, and they're like, you're just making up numbers. You know, every like 5 years they double the years. Because they can't understand it. So they like, well, if you give more time, then evolution will happen. You know, and you're like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think evolution is ever gonna make sense. Nowadays, they're like, even the atheists are like, well, we were seeded by somebody, and they're, you know, a higher intelligence than we are.
Yeah.
And you know, they told us what to do, and then they left. And you're like,
okay.
That's where you like really like.
Yeah.
Might as well just jump in the boat with me, bro. Like, just get in the boat with me. You know?
Exactly.
Because you're like believing in aliens and stuff now, like spaceships. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and like none of the other civilizations. Like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like you're just trying to make up your own religion now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you start believing in aliens, like, just make your own religion.
Yeah.
Like, and just think that it's. To think that it's like to avoid all of the past history of writing and history and Bible and antiquities and scholars and even alter religions and all this stuff, And to just wipe that all away and just say aliens,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of weak sauce.
Yeah, it is, especially when all of these things are coming up that proves a lot of the things. And it is history. There's so many things that have happened that line up with the Bible. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Tower of Babel and all that stuff was more of a portal to the spiritual realm. And I think they were harnessing energy somehow. I even saw one the other day that says that the pyramids are actually obelisks.
Oh yeah, and that they're super deep into the ground.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thought, but I can see it.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a top of an obelisk.
Yeah.
I can't talk today. So, yeah, that's what I would say is that it's ancient technology. It's the fallen angels that were being worshipped as the gods of these pre-Noamic people, you know, and some of their bloodline survived somehow, and God locked away those fallen angels in different places, and then Jesus came and expelled all the demons from throughout the world. And now they're kind of coming back out of like their little crypts.
Yes.
And we're seeing a lot more of, especially in the West. You know, you always seen it like in different countries, like different countries that still worship like the devil. You know what I mean? Or they call it whatever, but it's the devil. You know,
Yeah.
like if Muslims, okay, Muslims worship like Saturn. Like if you really think about it, like the big square box, like the number. Well, I forget what that thing's called.
I don't know much about it.
No. So they all have to make a pilgrimage to Mecca.
Okay.
And Mecca is this big black box.
Oh.
You never seen it?
No. Is it like a building?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And then they kiss it, right?
Huh.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Wow.
I have not.
So let me show you.
All Muslims need to do this?
It's part of their thing. You know, they also have to. Then when they pray, they have to face Mecca.
So, I've seen that. Like they have the prayer rugs, and I know they have to face a certain way, but I didn't know it was facing Mecca.
Yeah.
So depending on where they are in the world, they need to know like where it is, and then pray towards it.
So that's Mecca.
Oh.
It's a black box.
Creepy.
And then there's a rock on there. And then if you're lucky enough, you can kiss it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Women are not allowed in there, I wonder.
No, they should be in the kitchen. No, I'm just kidding. My wife would laugh at me. So that's it right there. The rock.
That's so weird.
It is.
I've never seen this. Now I gotta go down another
rabbit hole, right?
Huh. So what does it represent? What do you think that is, that black box and that rock?
It's all Saturn worship.
We'll put up pictures so you guys can see it.
It's all Saturn worship.
Saturn? Like the planet?
Huh. But there is no planets.
Yeah.
At least I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, like all the planets do have their own gods that were representative of them, so it's probably all.
It's one of the gods. Yeah, and so even if you look at their, you know, the moon, Saturn, and the star, that's all symbology. One day we'll do a deep dive into the symbology of a lot of stuff. We haven't done that yet. But a lot of the occults worship Saturn. Yeah. They all worship Saturn. Saturn is like a big thing. But Saturn, I don't think, is an actual planet. I think it's a fallen angel. Just like a lot of the stars are. You know, in the Bible says Lucifer fell like a star, right? Yeah, like a lot of those things, they're just stars. And if you ever look at them through an actual telescope, it doesn't look like a planet like you see in these pictures that you get in school, you know, with your little planets going around. Like, if you really think about it, like you're doing this craziness, right?
Hurling through space.
Yeah, on a flat plane.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's a flat plane. So everything is is on the same dimension, like not dimension, but plane that we're on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're all hurling at the same speed.
Mm-hmm.
And then space is expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Which the Bible does say that the space expands.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a crazy thing.
I just love space so much. I still want it to be real.
Well, the next dimension is way cooler than space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I like looking
like the
at
spiritual realm is so much cooler. If you can really fathom the spiritual realm,
yeah,
like heaven and like, you know, like we have an angel like chilling right there and just like listening to us, and it's like,
yeah. So
he's
I've
outside of space and time, and he's just there, like he's in the room, but he's bigger than the room.
Yeah, I told you I've seen my angels.
What? You did tell me.
I've
tell
seen
everybody
two.
the story.
I've seen 2 of my angels, and
dang, you got 2. You got like a squad.
I've got 2. Yeah.
You need it.
I welcome it. And the one that I was in my room. I was like in 4th grade, and I was sitting on my bed like coloring. I don't know what I was doing, just homework, whatever it was.
Being a girl.
Yeah.
Looking at Teen Magazine.
Painting my nails. Yes, I was
Teen Magazine.
I was in love with Justin Timberlake. Every magazine that had him on
his
it.
ramen noodle hairs.
Yes, the best. Iconic.
His hair looked like ramen noodles.
It did look like ramen noodles, and it was fantastic.
Yes.
So
you got to put a picture with his ramen noodle hair and ramen noodles.
Bing, and then like hearts all around me going. So I was sitting on my bed doing stuff, and then out of the corner of my eye, I've got really good peripheral vision. It goes pretty far. Anyways, I see like a huge dude in robes, no wings or anything like that, but just this like massive man at my door in my peripheral. And I'm like, what is that? So I look, nothing's there. And then I look back down and I can see it in my peripheral. And he looked like Mr. Clean.
He's pelon.
He was bald.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, he was bald. I'm getting chills.
It very much is. It corresponds with a lot of what people think. Mm-hmm. Most people think angels have wings. Mm-hmm. Very few angels have wings. Mm. Okay, most angels just look like big humans.
Big humans. He was like this big dude. Yeah, and he was bald. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't scared, but he was massive, and he was just like standing at my door. And then
was it like shiny?
No, just like he was wearing.
He wasn't glittery like Edward.
Like Edward Cullen. No, he wasn't shiny or glittery. He was just massive and just standing at my door, and I felt safe. But you would think you would feel scared because you see like a dude in your room and he's not supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, oh, I knew exactly. Oh, that's my angel. Mm. I looked up. I didn't see anything. I looked back down. And I'm like, oh, that's my angel. I could see him in my peripheral. And only in my peripheral have I ever been able to see things. My other one, I don't remember exactly what he looked like or his size, but he was sitting on my bed. That same room. He was sitting in my bed just like next to me. Is it
the same house that your parents are still at?
No, a different house. Yeah. The first house I grew up in until I was like 8th grade. And then we moved to that house.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was cool and just very peaceful. I felt very peaceful, like, oh, that's my angel. Okay, cool.
I think a lot of people, when they hear stuff like this, they get turned off to it.
Yeah, because it's woo-woo. Even though we're like talking about conspiracy theories.
Even Christians. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, have you ever read your Bible? Mm-hmm. Like God came to people in visions all the time. Yeah. Like it's straight up like commonplace. Yeah. In Scripture.
It is.
You know, and you're talking about a human having a spiritual experience. Yeah. And I think people are so weird with that. Mm-hmm. But yet they'll go to, you know, South America and drink ayahuasca with some freaking weirdo. Mm-hmm. And then throw up so they can
throw up in diarrhea and then meet aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, like, why don't you just have like a real spiritual experience? Yeah. Or they'll go get crystals and diamonds and get readings and have somebody read your palm. And, oh, if you have a cross here, you know, it means you're a really cool guy. And then they'll check their horoscope, you know, based on star worship. Yeah. which is totally witchcraft.
It is.
And they'll tell you like, oh, because like everybody always asks me, what's your birthday? And I was like, oh, it's November this. And then they'll tell me, oh, you're a Scorpio. Yeah, you got to be careful with you.
And you're like, go away.
And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But, and
you have to be careful with that stuff because that stuff opens you up to things. When I first started listening to Joe Rogan, I really wanted to do ayahuasca. I was like, that sounds amazing. DMT, ayahuasca, I want to have that experience. And so I started listening to YouTube videos of people's experiences. And this one guy, he's the only one that had a bad experience, but it was scary to me. And I realized you're opening yourself up to things when you do this. This witch doctor, he was in like Peru. And this guy that was leading him in a big group.
It's funny, you never hear about Peru.
Yeah, that's where.
When have you ever heard of Peru?
That's where.
Like the only time I ever knew anything about Peru is when I was playing Risk.
Oh,
go ahead.
It's in there.
Yeah.
So
when you're trying to take over South America.
This it's not witch doctor. What are they called? He was guiding him through this high. He was a witch doctor, and he was leading the whole group, but then he went to this one guy and he got in his face, and this man was saying words that were in a different language, and it was like he was in like this trance, and he was saying in his face just saying all these things, and the guy was high and just kind of like accepting it, just like because he was leading him through this high. And when he got back, he started seeing demons.
Yep.
He started seeing shadow creatures just pop up in his living room, and he was being followed and tormented, and he knew it was that experience. Yeah, and he was on YouTube asking for help. He's like, I don't know how to close this. I don't know how to turn this off.
Door, yeah.
And he was like, I can't go back to Peru.
That's what they're saying is happening right now to Post Malone. Have you seen that?
No, what's happening?
Yeah, he touched something at some satanic person's house.
Oh, jeez.
And now you see him and he's all like super skinny and all decrepit, and he's saying that he's being attacked by these spirits.
No.
Yeah, I saw something on it.
I need to look that up. Poor guy. That's terrible.
Yeah.
He needs Jesus. Jesus can help.
Yeah, and stop writing on your face.
You
look weird.
He does.
Don't write on your face, guys.
He does. But you got to be careful with all that stuff. Little crystals, when you start believing in all those things, you open yourself up for things to start happening.
Like, I am very much against tattooing. Sorry. But if you're going to wear tattoos, like, don't put it on your face.
Yeah.
Like, didn't you learn from Mike Tyson? Like, it's not a good idea.
That's pretty rough. Tyson looks cool with his stuff. Tyson's Tyson.
Yeah, like, I guess if you're... like, one day maybe we'll interview him. You know what I mean? Like,
he would be a trip to interview.
Well, yeah, because he's always high.
Yeah. He has his own weed company.
High. He's super high all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than him being, like, demonically possessed.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah.
In those fights.
He even feels like he was. Like, that man that raised him.
They used to hypnotize him.
That's
as a kid. They'd hypnotize him. So every time he would go into a fight, they'd take him to a hypnotist, like, every week. Him and Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods?
His dad. I watched a documentary.
Did that to him?
Yep.
I just thought he was very mentally, like, strong.
He was strong, too, but he would take him to get hypnotized. And it was like, that's why you got to be careful with this whole incantations or confessions or
meditations or manifestation, all the Asians.
It's you got to be careful, guys. Like, you really don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're messing with, Just bringing in a crystal into your house, burning sage in your house is satanic. You don't need to burn. Like, if you want to cook with sage, like, I like sage. You know what I mean? You eat some sage. You know what I mean? Grow some sage. Yeah. But don't put it in a little thing and burn it and be like, oh, I'm good juju. Like, what kind of craziness are we talking about? You think, like, the demonic realm is like, oh, it's sage.
The smoke of a burning plant. We've got to get out of here, guys.
It's like, it's probably they're like, man, this is nice. You know what I mean? Like, what? Why sage?
Yeah.
Out of all things, And
it's very Native American. And one of the things with sage that I think is interesting, this little fact made me want to look into burning sage a million years ago. during COVID. So it literally kills.
COVID does feel like 1,000,000 years ago.
It literally kills the germs in the air.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do it for spirits. You know what I mean? Like,
but I think even if you're trying to kill the germs in the air with sage, I still think you're doing bad stuff. Like, you like, don't
whatever.
do it.
It's whatever. Like, I'm not afraid of, like imagine I'm cooking and I burn the sage in my pot. Like,
well, no, that's different.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid of you thinking it's doing spiritual things. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's insanity to me, where you can literally just pray and ask, through the Holy Spirit, like Jesus, to rebuke the enemies in your life, to rebuke any spirit that's attacking you, to bind up the enemy or the strong man in your life. Like, you could take dominion through Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah.
That he gave to you back when you became a son of God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like, you have to understand that there's ranking in the spiritual realm. Yeah. And all of them, that's why the Screw Tape Letters is such a cool book. Everybody agrees with this ranking. There is a ranking class system in the kingdom. And there's a kingdom of God, and then there's a kingdom of darkness. And each one has ranking. And they all have to follow it. Yeah. Because they will get destroyed. Yeah. And God is not mocked. If he says he'll do something, he'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
And they know if they cross him, they're going to get a repercussion.
Yes.
So they don't do it. Yeah. They know the rights that they have. That's why whenever you see people that are being delivered by demons, they always say, I have a right to be here. And if you give them rights, then they have access. Wow. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like the same way the vampires, you open the door.
And yeah, you open the door and ask them to come in. Yeah. Yeah. That's hardcore.
So just be careful, and...
Yeah, because you don't know if you might be giving them the rights.
Yeah.
Like him doing ayahuasca and being open to letting that man just speak into his life. He didn't know what he was saying. It was crazy. He was, watching that video, he was terrified.
Yeah.
He was like, please, anybody, if you guys know anything, help.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of it. I've seen another guy where he did channeling. He bought a book about channeling. Yeah. And he was auto writing, right? Yeah. Which is how they write the Watchtower books. Yeah. They auto translate, so they all go to the upper room and they all kind of, and then they write out stuff. So that's why every time you meet like people that are super in Jehovah's Witness, they kind of are monotone. They're like, hi, how are you doing today? It's the great day today. And you're like, hey.
Hey.
Like, what are you doing in my front door?
Go away.
But that's not to be rude, but that's why, because they've been, in a sense, hypnotized through this channeling of words that they repeat and read and study that are all spiritual, right? Yeah. It's the same thing with music. Yeah. Be careful with the music that you listen to. Yes. You're letting that into yourself. And then you're confessing it while you learn the music. Yes. Like there's that Metallica song that, and I'm going to make everybody mad. But there's that Metallica song, what is it, Enter the Sandman or whatever? Go read those lyrics. Those lyrics are freaking crazy. Yeah. And it's like, it says stuff like enter darkness or something like that. And like, you're confessing darkness to enter you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't do that.
No,
That's not a good idea.
No, you got to be wise with all of that. Like, I like listening to songs, and most songs on the radio are not good, right? No. Like, if you really listen to the lyrics and you are confessing those things, when you sing them and you say, I'm this, that, the other, whatever the song says, I'll switch the words and I'll say, like, he's that or she's this. I won't say I'm. Because I don't want to confess anything over my life. Yeah, yeah. There have been some songs recently that are so catchy because I love music. I love songs. I love music. I'll learn all the lyrics. I feel the songs. And
That's why I like oldies.
yeah.
You see me at the house, I'm always jamming oldies.
Yes, always.
Yeah. Everybody's like, what are you playing?
No, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been some songs recently that my spirit's like, don't listen to this.
Mm.
And they're very like melodic and cool, and I like to learn like the different parts.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some they're TikTok famous songs, like from TikTokers. And it's just something's off with them and what they're putting out there. And
it's like the rap music right now. It's all satanic.
Oh, I know. It's all really, really.
What was that guy that went to like hell and like grinded on the devil?
Oh,
and he had like
Little Nas
satanic
X.
shoes.
Yeah.
He had satanic shoes with blood in them.
Yes. And all of his stuff is really geared towards kids.
Yeah.
Like his target audience.
Is he the same guy that wrote that song about the cowboy and he was a black guy? Mm-hmm. It's the same guy? That
Old
song
Town
is so
Road,
catchy.
Yeah. And all of his songs are really short, super catchy. Yeah. 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 And he's a gay black man. And there's conspiracy theories about that he really isn't gay, but that the Illuminati is like making him do all these things. And
I always think about this on these videos, like if I do a sign, like if I'm like this, if I'm like this.
Oh yeah, on our videos.
Yeah, because I like every now and then I'll be like sitting there and I'll be like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, everybody's gonna say Illuminati confirmed.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, no, it's just my fingers do stuff.
Oopsie.
You know, like
I
sorry.
think the same thing.
I'm just gonna sit like this.
That's still a symbol. There's triangles in there.
Look at its 12 triangles. No, I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's crazy that this dude's like super into all that stuff. I remember in the beginning we did the video about like the original OGs of conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. So the one John Todd, who was an ex-Illuminati member, and he was in the music industry. You guys need to listen to his stuff. It's on YouTube still. Okay. And it's just audio because he used to go from church to church with records. Oh. And he would play the record and the record would be like his track. Yeah. He's the first one that created like the tracks
that people could buy.
Yeah. Like he would create tracks and hand them out, right?
Yeah.
And he worked with Czech publications. So so it was funny. It was like during the Jesus Revolution, but he was coming out of Satanism. He was like he wasn't a Satanist. He was a witch. So he was a 4th generation witch from the house of Collins. So the Collins.
Yeah. That's very similar to Cullen. Like the Edward Cullen, the shiny vampire guy. That's just creepy. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. But the Collins family is like one of the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. Yeah, so it's like Illuminati confirmed.
Confirmed.
No hand signals. Yeah. Yeah, you ever see that one where it's like a Doritos? It's like, it's a triangle. Illuminati confirmed.
Confirmed.
You know? Like, dang, I do like Doritos.
Oh, they are delicious.
Even though it's got all that food dye in it. You can't eat them no more. Damn it. Okay. But you have to watch his stuff because he's the one that will explain to you how the music industry is all controlled by high-level witches and high-level Satanists and high-level Luciferians. And they control all the music. All of it. And it's all done in like witch chant. It's all done in like the style of their language. It's all done in a way to manipulate you to confess things over your life.
Yeah. Like, and then music kind of does stuff in your brain too. Like different tones will make you feel different way. I love listening to music when I'm feeling sad. I'll listen to praise and worship. Certain songs just I'll confess those things over myself. It lifts me up. I love listening to Pitbull. If I need energy, I'll listen to a couple songs. I'm like, yeah, Pitbull. You know? Yeah. Na, 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 na. Don't stop the party. Yes, exactly. Borrachos. Yeah. It's pretty hardcore. But you feel things when you listen to music.
It can change your state.
It can't. It's exactly what I'm trying to say. It can change your state.
Yes, yes. You
Yes.
change your state. So it's kind of like watching a karate movie, and then afterward, you want to go do karate.
Wah-sha!
You know,
Yes.
like the kids in the backyard. We were like, "All right, I'm Donatello. Who are you? I'm Raphael. All right, yeah." You know, and like that's how those boys would do it. You know, we would always be like, "Who are you?" Well, I'm Captain America. Well, I'm Superman. I'll beat you up. You know, dang it. Superman can't beat up Captain America.
Watching Fast and the Furious always made me want to drive fast.
Ah. Yeah. Nowadays, it's just like makes you want to be 007.
Mm-hmm.
Fast
John
and
Wick.
Furious 10.
Yeah. John Wick really does it for me. I love John Wick.
Yeah. You know what? I watched the new one. It's pretty interesting. I like seeing symbology in movies.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that you'll always notice in movies that they use to manipulate you is the bad guy is always the conservative,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Christian,
Yes.
Crazy person who is also a big sinner in his personal life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So he's like the Catholic. The Catholic is always the easy one for them to go after. And he's running a sex ring of kids.
Yeah.
Right? But yet he's wielding all this power and he's manipulating all these people and he's the bad guy that the good guy has to take down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the good guy's like, yeah, I see through all your lies and deception.
Yeah, everything.
And that's how they twist it.
Yes.
Right? Now, granted, every single pastor, priest, whatever, has sin in his life. Mm-hmm. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Human, yeah.
Duh. So every one of us are going to be hypocrites. Mm-hmm. The only true Christian that's ever really lived is Jesus. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, duh. Like, none of us can live up to Jesus's life.
Yeah. And there have been some heinous things that have happened in, like, the Catholic religion with the priests and the kids and things like that.
Yes.
You know? And everything has its own past and that things aren't good. But,
yeah. Like, it's funny because everybody always dogs the big thing about the Catholics is that they always say, like, oh, what about the Crusades? And I'm like, the Crusades were war. Mm-hmm. It was just war. Yeah. And it was war against Muslims who were oppressing the people in the Middle East and forcibly converting them to become Muslim. And the Crusades combined all of Europe, including Russia. Like, really think about this. All of Europe, all the kings come and together created an army to go fight against the Muslims.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
And when you're taught about it in school,
it's all negative.
I had no, like, when we had this conversation, you were explaining all that to me. I need to look more into it because I just thought that these Catholics, these people that follow Christ, were going through and just murdering everybody and doing that, trying to make everybody be Christian or Catholic and trying to, like, shove Jesus down people's throats, and if you didn't, you're going to die. Yeah, that's just how they made it seem. There was
no forcible conversions to Christianity.
Oh, and then they were taking all of the history and the things and burning it and just tearing through everything.
I shouldn't say that. There probably was, but it wasn't like high overarching theme of what was happening. It's the same like any war. Like if the U.S. soldiers were in Iraq, I'm sure they did war crimes. Like I saw videos that were pretty ugly, you know, of what they were doing to prisoners in Iraq or whatever.
Yeah.
And just humiliating people because war makes people crazy, you know. And if you kill another person, something breaks in your head. You know what I mean? And
yeah, that's rough.
Nobody knows how you're gonna react to that. Some people are okay and they can function after that, but some people, they break. You know, their psyche just breaks.
Yeah.
And the only one that can fix that is like God. So anybody that, like, we've been around a bunch of soldiers, and anyone I've ever talked to that was a soldier never talked the same about war than people that did it that were never soldiers. You know?
Yeah.
very few soldiers that have actually seen war, not like generals and, people in high brass.
Yeah.
Regular soldiers that actually have seen it and the results of it are like, you don't want to do this. And we need to do everything to avoid this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes it that have actually been there.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to wish it on their worst enemy. Like, it's one thing to just drop bombs on people. It's another thing to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like stuff like that is very different. But I would say, just for everybody, if you have had some type of like exposure to the spiritual realm in these different regards, take time and find a pastor. Isaiah Saldivar, he's another YouTuber. He's got a channel about deliverance, and he has a site that links up people that do deliverance.
Yeah, so you can find somebody near you.
Yeah, that will do deliverance. Now, he doesn't guarantee that they're gonna know what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's just anybody can go in there and say, "I can do it."
That.
You know, and so you can connect with them. And I would say go through 5 or 6 people and find somebody that maybe you like, and be like, "Yeah, let's talk. Let's have coffee. I'll buy you lunch, whatever." And then interview like 5 or 6 of them, and then at the end of that, pick somebody, and hopefully you can get delivered from any oppression, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Like, I've dealt with the spiritual realm in the past. I've been spiritually attacked. I've been through spiritual warfare. I've seen deliverance. I've seen people manifest. I've seen it all. And it's real, and you have to be able to guard yourself. Now, don't get in condemnation just because you sin, or you read a horoscope, or you read a fortune cookie or something. Like, you instantly have demons. Like, don't get too extreme in your measure.
Yeah.
Like, it's really perpetual, consistent.
Yeah.
How much belief you
put
given
into
to it.
Yes.
A lot of it comes from this level of belief and faith.
Yes.
Faith is like the power to do stuff
I
with.
have a friend who was told by a work buddy that you need to come to my curandera, which is like a witch. And in El Paso, and
there's a bunch of witches here.
In the Hispanic culture, there's a lot of witchcraft.
Yeah, because of what's that? The Day of the Dead. That whole witchcraft. Yeah, there's a like a religion around it. I forget what it's called.
Yes, it's not Santeria.
Yeah.
Is it Santeria?
Yeah.
So this friend, she had a work buddy that was telling her, like, everyone's talking bad about you. Come to my curandera and we'll do a cleaning. And they do cleanses with eggs, where they'll like rub an egg all over your body, and it's supposed to absorb all of the bad juju, or whatever they call it. But she didn't really know what all this stuff is. She was just like, okay, you're my friend. I'll go wherever you tell me. So she meets with this witch.
Jeez.
And the witch store is right next to a meat market. And so the person tells her to go to the meat market and buy a cow tongue and then bring it back. And she's like, okay. So she goes and buys a cow tongue. She brings it back, and this witch starts beating her with a cow tongue while saying all of these things in Spanish. And she speaks Spanish, but not fast. So she didn't know most of what they were saying. And it was about people. It was a tongue symbolic for people talking crap about you. And she's just like, she's like, what have I done? Like, why am I here? Why am I getting beat with a cow tongue? What am I getting myself into? Why didn't I ask more questions? What am I thinking? Like, why am I here? And after she got beat with a cow tongue for a while, the witch stopped doing the stuff and told her that she needs to come back after this many weeks, and we're going to do another cleanse, and then it'll be a process because there's something bad on you. And she never went back. but just ask questions. Like, don't find yourself at a witch doctor's office getting beat by a cow tongue. That's what I'm trying to say.
No mames.
Yeah, even if you trust the person, like, no, and I think you can tell, like, if something sounds wrong, just don't do it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think a lot of Christians are getting exposed to the spiritual realm by things that are culturally acceptable, i.e. yoga. You know what I mean?
People don't even realize how spiritual yoga is.
Yes.
And like the point and purpose of yoga.
Every pose is a worship of a different god. It's like a certain type of worship to a certain god.
Because I used to do a lot of yoga, and Americans have turned it a lot into a workout. But I was listening to this one yoga instructor explain what all the poses are. And she was like, open yourself up and understand what this is, and listen to my voice, clear your head and only focus on what I'm saying. And she was explaining to us.
It's like meditation.
It is. That's exactly what it is. She was explaining to us that all of these yoga moves are your body and your mind basically earning a deep brain place. It's like you're getting yourself into this meditation, and you get yourself deeper and deeper where you're actually using your body to get your mind deeper into that place. And then the goal is to be in like this trance, not a trance. I don't know the exact word, but that's what it is. Your
like
goal
a flow state
is to get into this flow state, into this state of mind where that you've earned, that your body is tired now, your brain is in it, and you're in this like brain dimension. That's the point of it.
It's to get to your subconscious brain.
Yes.
Without having to
get high. That's how she explained it. She was like, this is, and if you do it right, and that's why you do these flows where you do like this, that, the other, you end up in this pose, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and then you get to this brain place, this meditation.
Yeah, it's crazy when you really think about it. A lot of people, they're giving the devil like an easy foothold. The stuff we watch on TV, the stuff we listen to in music, literally the things that we're saying when we listen to music. Literally, our body is doing certain actions to, entice certain spirits. Like, it's freaking crazy.
It is.
It's crazy when you think about it.
People don't realize how spiritual this world is.
Oh,
everything.
Yeah, it's the real world. You are a spirit. You live in a body, and you have a soul. And the fight is for your soul. And if you give them access to your soul, that's where you can get possessed under like a stronghold, under influence, all this kinds of stuff. And it's easily just one of those things that you can get into a certain groove or a certain habit, and then the devil will just take it.
Yeah. And you don't even realize. You don't even realize you're doing all these things. And then you're teaching your kids. And they're watching your actions, and then they want to be like you, and that's all they know. And it's serious.
It's very serious. I think people, they play with these things and they don't know what it is. They think they're strong enough to deal with it, and
I think there's a lot of trickery involved in it. Because I know people that think that they talk to spirits that are their guides. I'm talking
or
to
their uncles or their mom.
Yes, and it's demons. You're talking to demons. You're not talking to Archangel Gabriel. You're not channeling Jesus. A lot of people think that Jesus is one of their spirit guides along with other people. And it's just like, no, you don't know who you're talking to, and it's demons.
Yeah, and he can come as an angel of light.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I think that a lot of people misunderstand, is that they think he's going to come like a pitchfork with the forked tongue,
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Bleh, Vanessa,
Yeah.
kill everyone."
Yeah,
And you're like,
exactly.
you're not gonna listen to that. You know what I
No,
mean?
no. And like, I think the point is destruction also, but I think a lot of it too is just being distracted. It's just a distraction from your true purpose, what you're really supposed to be doing. If the devil can kind of just get you off track and just distract you over here
Mm-hmm.
for as long as he can, he's winning, you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's too that it depends on who you are
Mm-hmm.
and how far he can take you.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna take you further than you thought you were willing to go.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yes.
So it's kind of like right now I'm craving a pan dulce from the Vista Market.
That sounds delicious with your coffee.
That one, like the little one with the butter in between it. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
you got those the other day.
Those are so good. Right? So if I went and got one of those,
Mm-hmm.
I probably would not eat just one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if I ate just one, then that would be okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna eat just one.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, one would be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Totally fine.
That's the lie.
Yeah.
Is that I'm gonna eat a whole dozen of them
Mm-hmm.
in like a week
Mm-hmm.
and gain 5 pounds.
Well, and we lie to ourselves. We know,
Mm-hmm.
deep down that you're not just going to eat one or, oh, I'm just going to go get a drink with friends. But in the back of your mind, you're hoping you see somebody or, like all of those things, what you're doing. Do not lie to yourself.
Yeah, or you can like a comment or say something.
Mm-hmm. Slide into a DM.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's cool. Great job. And you're waiting for them to like send you a D pic.
Don't do that. Guys, don't do that. We don't want to see it. It's disgusting. And don't make a collage. Do you remember that story? There was I knew a guy that he, instead of just sending a D pic, he would send a collage. He was like, because I didn't want to send too many, and so I made a collage. That reminds me of
like, how you get like the little notepads, and then you can like do it, and
then
it can move,
Yeah, you can make like a little cartoon.
Maybe he did a cartoon of his collage.
He probably did. I was like, why would you do that? And he was like, well, the girl, I get good girls tell me good things about it. Like, I think they like it. I'm like, they don't. We don't want to see that. Like, keep all of it. We don't want it.
Keep it in the closet.
Keep it somewhere else, out of our eyes. We don't want it. It's just all gross.
Yeah, ew. Okay, so I think that's it for today, guys. I think it's good for you guys to understand. Now, the one thing about Ron White is that, you can go research his stuff. He did a prophecy too, or he saw a vision and he saw 2 angels or something. I haven't heard it in a while, so I can't really talk about it. But interesting guy. It's something that I think everybody should research. I highly recommend seeing his stuff. It's good. It's exciting. It's fulfilling. It's not bad. You know what I mean? You're like, if you go down his rabbit hole, you're not gonna feel negative afterward, like a lot of conspiracy theories do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not just demonic and kids being eaten and God knows what. It's not negative, but it's a fun conspiracy theory. So I highly recommend it.
Sweet.
He's a really interesting guy. Seems like a nice guy. I don't see any moral failures in his life. Not that I've seen, which would automatically, hurt his legacy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you guys have any other videos that you want to see, any other topic that you'd like to talk about, we can get into it. And be careful out there what you guys are getting into, specifically when it comes to any of the new age stuff.
Yes.
Carrying crystals around. Doing readings with freaking crystals. Doing yoga, doing spiritual readings, reading your aura. Remember one time you even told me You told me that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and people tell me that all the time. It's like, oh, you have this color aura, or you're
I have been able to see an aura twice.
really.
And it freaked me out both times. And the second time was with you. And we were in your patio. It was me, you, and Jake. And I was looking at you through a fire pit. And your hands were out. You were like leaning against something. And then you moved your arm down. And so anyways, when you were like this, I saw red around you, but I thought it like a reddish orange. I thought it was like the fire. But then when you moved your arm down, like the aura stayed and moved back down with you. And I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing something.
I was like the guy from The Last Dragon. When you got
Yeah.
the glow.
Yeah.
Your body.
But it freaks me out. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that is. I don't want to see it.
I don't know what that is. I don't know anything about auras. It could be your spirit. You know what I mean? You could have seen a glimpse of the spiritual realm. I don't know. If I did have an aura, I'm pretty sure it would be awesome.
Radiating awesomeness.
It would have been like whatever. Like you look up aura, and you look up awesomeness.
That's the color. That's what it is. I want mine to have glitter and rainbow.
Like yours just like what's that troll with just glitter?
Oh, from the troll movies. He farts glitter and he is glitter. Yes.
That would be your.
That would be me.
Your aura.
Glitter.
Yeah. What is it? Tiny Diamond? No, that's the one. The baby.
Tiny Diamond.
That's the one he had. He had the little baby.
Yeah.
He had a baby, which was kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
God dang it.
I know. Everything in the kids' movies.
Why are they always trying to manipulate?
I don't know, but they are everything. My dad would always, whenever we'd watch TV, he'd be like, he'd pause it, or I guess couldn't pause it. He'd just interrupt it because it was back in the day. He'd be like, no. They're trying to make you think that the people that do this are bad guys. Business guys are not bad guys. They're not going to do that and this and that.
That was every episode of Captain Planet.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. We come home and we'd learn like about light pollution. He was like, light doesn't pollute. That's BS. And he'd go on this thing. And then when I was little, I was like, Dad. But now I'm happy. I'm happy that he did that.
Just trying to watch, know, the what's the bears with the little things.
Exactly. And he's like, I'm not going to let you get indoctrinated. I'm going to explain this so that you understand. And now I do that. But I get to pause so my kids don't miss it. I'll pause the Netflix show.
Down at Fraggle Rock?
Yeah.
Remember Fraggle Rock?
No.
No?
No, it's Fraggle Rock.
You didn't know Fraggle Rock? Fraggle Rock was on, what's the one with the big yellow bear?
That sounds familiar.
The big yellow bird? Big Bird?
Big Bird. Yeah.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
It was a spin-off of Sesame Street.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure I watched it.
Now
you can't even watch Sesame Street. It's all indoctrination.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when 2020 hit, it was bad. It was like, get vaccinated. Like,
tell on your parents.
Yeah. It was really bad. Like, I don't even risk it with that. There's certain things I won't, like, Netflix is getting bad.
Yeah,
there's
Netflix is
so many.
bad.
I'm so close to being done. Like, and especially with all the stuff that they're gonna do with the new passwords.
Oh, really? What are they doing with?
They're not gonna let you share passwords, and they're gonna really crack down on it. And people were complaining that they travel a lot. So if you're on different internet or whatever, it seems like you're sharing password, but it's really you, and they're gonna just crack down on it. And so I share a password with my dad. I don't pay for it. But he pays for all of us. He pays for the big one.
Hey, why not?
He pays for it.
I think it's only $20.
I appreciate it.
I have a lot of Netflix at all of my Airbnbs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I never did the Disney Plus or the other ones. I didn't like it too because I always felt like they could buy something. Oh. So Netflix, you don't have to buy anything.
You're right. They could buy like movies and things, and then you have to pay for it.
I'm not gonna give them.
No, absolutely not. We got rid of Disney Plus when all the woke stuff started happening.
Yeah, us too. We were like the first in our friends. We were like,
bye.
Yeah. What was it? I forget which one was it that was like that.
For us, we were big Mandalorian fans, and when they got rid of that lady, forget her name now.
Oh yeah, the actress.
The actress wrestler.
Yeah, just because she said something.
She's very conservative, and she
Yeah.
gets to have an opinion. She didn't say anything that was offensive.
Yeah, no.
No, but they got rid of her, and we're like, we're good. We're out.
Yeah, it's not.
Jake
I
was
haven't
sad,
lost
though.
anything.
No, he just loves the Mando, so he'll get the code from his sisters because she still has it, and he'll catch up on the Mando, and then log back out. He loves that stuff.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the new Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Me molo. Me molo. I did watch the Guardian of the Galaxy.
How did you like it? You guys went on a date.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was cute. It was really cute. It was a lot about Rocket Raccoon and his backstory.
Oh.
It was so cute. There was only like one gay scene.
Excellent.
Which is crazy to say.
Yeah. Was it like a creature or like humanoids?
Yeah, I think it was humanoids.
Were they making out? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
like they kissed or something. I forget. I blocked it
I'm
out.
sure it was so important to the story.
Yeah.
They must have needed to have that in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was all right. It was like, you know, it wasn't like forcing it on us like they do now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's a lot of shows that make it like, it's like they're trying to teach you or indoctrinate you.
Mm-hmm.
The one show that I loved, Schitt's Creek. Have you ever watched that? Oh, I love Schitt's Creek. If I was a TV show, I would be Schitt's Creek. And there's their son, David, is gay. And he just is, though. He just is who he is. And they didn't do it in a way that it was, like, demeaning to the people that aren't for it. It was just like, he just is. And I liked the way that they did it. They weren't trying to teach people things or shove it down anyone's throat. He just is David. And I really love that show.
Okay, he is David.
He is David.
Okay, I haven't heard anything about it. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, comment, share with your friends.
Yes.
Hit the bell icon.
Do it.
Do all the things.
Do the things.
You know, it's funny. We always ask at the end, and everybody that I watch always
They
ask
do it in the beginning
middle or the beginning.
Yeah, they take some time
because people don't
get to the end.
Yeah. You guys, whoever's watching the end of these videos,
you guys are true MVPs.
You're like me.
You get to the end of every video.
I'm obsessive. I have a sickness. Okay.
Bye.